The tennis world has just been handed a narrative so explosive, so steeped in rivalry and redemption, that it has sent shockwaves from the hard court of Auckland all the way to the heart of Paris. We are talking about a collision course that feels less like a sport and more like destiny. The entry list of the 2026 ASB Classic in Auckland is out, and has confirmed the one scenario the French Tennis Federation was dreading, and the one matchup every Filipino fan has been praying for. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine Eagle, Alexandra Eala, is set to face her French rival, Varvara Gracheva, in a potential grudge match that is already being billed as a duel of destiny. This is not just another opening round. This is not just a game. This is a reopening of a wound that was inflicted in the summer of 2025. Reports coming out of Europe suggest that the French media is in a state of absolute disbelief. Why? Because their former world number 39, the baseline queen Varvara Gracheva, has once again been drawn into the path of the one player who has become her absolute kryptonite. We are talking about Alex Eala, the 20-year-old sensation who is now the 4th seed and sitting at a career-high world ranking. This matchup has ignited a war zone of emotions because we have the receipts. We remember the bloody semifinals of Eastbourne. We remember the 3-set thriller in Nottingham. The narrative is set. On one side, a French veteran desperate to stop her slide and exact revenge. On the other, a Filipina icon looking to prove that her historic rise was no fluke, but the new world order. Auckland is buzzing with electricity. Ticket sales are spiking. Spies are watching practice sessions. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Stay tuned, because we are about to break down exactly why this match on January 5th is the only story that matters in the world of tennis right now. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you're just joining us, we are unpacking the massive breaking news regarding the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand. To understand the gravity of the situation, we have to look beyond just the names on a sheet of paper. We have to look at the psychology, the history, and the sheer tactical warfare that is about to unfold. Let's start with the immediate reaction. When tournament organizers released the entry list, it was supposed to be a standard procedure. But the moment the name Varvara Gracheva appeared in proximity to Alexandra Eala, the tone changed. In France, the mood shifted from optimism to anxiety. You have to understand the context here. Gracheva represents a significant pillar of French tennis. She has been a top 40 player. She has the experience, the grit, and the technical pedigree that comes with the French system. But lately, she has had a Filipina problem. The term shocked is being used by European outlets not because they disrespect Eala. Quite the opposite. They are shocked because it feels like a curse. It feels inevitable. It's as if the tennis gods have decided that Gracheva cannot advance without first confronting the storm that is Alex Eala. Now, let's talk about that storm. Alexandra Eala is no longer just a prospect. We need to retire that word. At 20 years old, entering this tournament as the 4th seed and holding the world number 53 ranking, she is a contender. She is established. The input we are receiving from the grounds in Auckland is that Eala has carried herself with a different kind of aura this year. There is a psychological edge that comes with being the seed, with being the favorite. But why is this specific matchup a nightmare for the French camp? It comes down to the concept of the receipt. In sports, a receipt is a memory of a past beating. It's a scar tissue from a loss that hasn't healed. And Alex Eala holds a receipt. Let's rewind to the pivotal moments of 2025. The year 2025 was the breakout season for Alex, but it was a season of torment for Gracheva. We have to look at the Nottingham Open. This was the precursor. It was a 3-set grind. Eala won 6-3, 3-6, 6-3. It was close, it was physical, and it showed that Eala had the mental fortitude to outlast the French resistance. But that was just the appetizer. The main course, the match that is haunting Gracheva right now, happened at the Eastbourne Open, the semifinals. This wasn't just a match. It was a war. It lasted 2 hours and 23 minutes. If you were watching, you remember the intensity. It was described as a bloody encounter because of the physical toll it took on both women. Gracheva threw everything she had at Eala. She tried to grind her down from the baseline. She tried to move her around. And what happened? Eala lost the second set. She was on the ropes. In the past, a younger player might have folded. A younger player might have let the pressure of a WTA semifinal get to them. But Alex Eala bounced back. She didn't just survive, she thrived. She stamped her authority with a 7-5, 2-6, 6-3 victory. That win was historic. It sent Alex to her first ever WTA singles final, making her the first Filipina in history to achieve that feat. That loss sits heavy in the minds of the French team. It's not just a loss on the record. It's a loss of status. It signaled a changing of the guard. So, when we see them paired up again here in Auckland in 2026, we aren't just seeing a rematch. We are seeing Gracheva fighting for her relevance against the person who took it from her. Let's transition to the tactical aspect, because this is where the giant killer reputation of Alex Eala really shines. Why is she Gracheva's kryptonite? Tennis analysts have been poring over the footage of those 2025 matches, and the consensus is clear. It is a left-handed aggression. Alex Eala's game is built on a heavy, spinning lefty forehand that disrupts the rhythm of conventional right-handed players. Gracheva likes a steady pace. She likes to get into a rhythm at the baseline and out-rally you. She is a wall. But Alex doesn't play to that rhythm. She breaks the wall. She uses angles that open up the court, pulling Gracheva out of her comfort zone. We are hearing reports from Auckland regarding the training sessions. Alex is working with Coach Jay Boss, and the intensity is reportedly through the roof. This is a crucial detail. Coach Jay Boss isn't just running standard drills. They are simulating the Gracheva match. They're focusing on deep, penetrating baseline shots, the exact kind of shots that tortured Gracheva in Eastbourne. They are drilling the patterns that exploit the Frenchwoman's movement. This is what we mean when we say mental warfare. The preparation is specific. Alex isn't training for a match. She is training for this match. On the flip side, imagine the pressure on Varvara Gracheva. The French media is watching her like a hawk. There are reports of scouts, essentially spies, watching Alex's practice, trying to find a weakness, trying to see if there is any drop in her level. But all they are seeing is an ogre of the court. And I use that term in the most complimentary competitive sense. An ogre on the court is someone who dominates the space, who controls the game from the baseline to the net. Alex has evolved. She is no longer just a baseliner. She is becoming an all-court threat. The atmosphere in Auckland is feeding off this narrative. We know that the French connection usually brings a lot of fans, but the Filipino community in New Zealand is mobilizing. They know the stakes. They know that Alex is fighting for honor. This isn't just about ranking points. It is about proving that the new generation has officially arrived and is here to stay. Ticket sales have spiked because fans know that an Eala versus Gracheva match guarantees drama. It guarantees intensity. Gracheva is a fighter. She will not roll over. She is hungry for giantization. She wants to be the giant killer this time. She wants to reclaim her spot in the hierarchy. But she is running into a fourth seed who has a psychological edge that is almost impossible to quantify. When Alex steps onto that court, she steps on as a favorite. That is a heavy mantle to carry, but she has worn it comfortably so far. The question dominating the conversation in Europe is, can their baseline queen handle the ferocity of the Philippine Eagle? Or will Paris be made cry again? The media in France is nervous. They are calling this the duel of destiny, because they fear the result. They fear that a third consecutive loss to Eala in such a short window will permanently damage Gracheva's confidence against the Filipina. It creates a mental block that can last a career. If Alex wins this, she doesn't just win a match. She owns a rivalry. As we look toward January 5th, the center court in Auckland is going to be the center of the tennis universe. We are telling you now, do not blink. Every update coming out of New Zealand is pointing toward a classic. For the Filipino fans, this is a moment of immense pride. You are watching a homegrown talent who has gone out into the world and not just competed, but conquered. She has taken the best shots from a former world number 3-9 and sent them back with interest. For the neutral fan, this is a perfect storm. You have the history, the contrasting styles, the lefty aggression versus the righty counterpuncher, and the emotional baggage of a grudge match. So are you ready? Are you ready to witness the secrets, the adjustments, and the sheer willpower of Alexandra Eala? The receipt of success is within reach. The 2026 season is kicking off with a bang. In conclusion, the stage is set. The players are ready. The world is watching. Varvara Gracheva is fighting for redemption. Alexandra Eala is fighting for dominance. On January 5th, the ASB Classic will host a battle that will shake the foundations of the WTA. This is the story of the year so far. This is the match that matters. We will be covering every rally, every point, and every moment of drama. Stay locked in, because the Eala storm is about to make landfall in Auckland.